Okay, so the other day I was telling my daughter to bring something for me on the counter, and she was so carried away and she didn't listen. And yet I keep shouting, "Can't I send you message again? Can't I send you message again?" And I was continuously saying that, and she was saying, "Mama, where is the phone?" I said, "Can't I send you message again?" She said, "I don't have the phone." But what I meant was actually Errand. The frustration in me about can't I send her a message, and her talking about, oh, she doesn't have the phone with her and she won't be able to look at any message, got me like, what am I saying? What is she saying? And that ordinary moment of going back and forth with message and what it means to me in relation to what it meant to her is leading to that extraordinary lesson that we will be highlighting in episode 7 of Bridging Our Learning Worlds. Is there any difference between message and errand? Let's think about it. While I was busy saying, can't I send you message again? Can't I send you message again? She kept looking around like, oh, where is the phone that she will be able to read the message? Meanwhile, this is her phone. And the phone was not with her because she doesn't really get to use it all the time. So she was like, I don't have the phone. And thinking about what I meant by message is having her do a task for me. And she was saying, where is the phone? Where is the phone? As she kept saying, where is the phone? I laughed. Then I kept asking, like I was saying, can't you help me bring the cup or something there? Then she said, oh, Mama, do you mean errand? Now, messages relating to maybe communication. But I know, like, even back home in Nigeria, I can say, I'm going to send you a message, like, I'm going to send you on an errand, which was how I was thinking about it. Then she made me realize that, Mama, you meant errand. In full transparency, it is not that I do not know the meaning of errand, right? But because I am more familiar with, when you say I'm going to send you a message, like talking to our children or talking to people, it means like I'm sending them around to do things for me. But in that moment, he's thinking about what both of us were communicating and what it meant. Because after everything, I stopped laughing like, okay, Mama meant message, this girl meant errand. And it was then that I realized that actually we were both right, be it errand or message. To some extent, we were both right. And it is funny that the more I thought about errand and message and the misunderstanding, the more I realized that this wasn't really about whether message and errand mean exactly the same thing. It was more about words from which both of us were speaking. Growing up in Nigeria, saying something like, let me send you a message, or I sent her on a message, can make perfect sense in everyday conversation. The message may not be something like on an errand or something written on a phone like text message or WhatsApp message. It can involve going somewhere, taking something to someone, asking somebody to bring a cup, or even bringing something back or doing something on another person's behalf. Like, for instance, I can send somebody a message from Oyingbo bus stop to when they are going to Ibadan or when they are going to Modakeke. So sending a message through a bus driver, right? And that is not text message. So when I said to my daughter, can't I send you message again? I wasn't searching for the word errand. I was not searching for errand. I was rather, you know. So when I said to my daughter, can't I send you a message? A message. I wasn't searching for the word errand, right? I was not searching for the word errand. I knew the word errand. I knew the word errand. But message came naturally to me in that moment because that is part of the English I have lived with. But my daughter had something completely different. For her, a message is something you receive on a phone. So, of course, she started looking for the phone. Meanwhile, I wanted her to bring the cup on the counter. And I think this is where an ordinary moment becomes an extraordinary lesson. Sometimes we do think that because two people are speaking English, they must be speaking the same English, or at least meaning will be exactly the same way. But are we? I know there is always the British English, the American English, the Australian English, but you know, this is even within the context of a child and a mother in the same household, right? And that got me thinking that our languages carry the places where we have lived. They carry our families, our communities, our histories, and even the other languages we speak. And migration makes this especially interesting. My daughter and I belong to the same family, right? But we are not necessarily having exactly the same linguistic experiences. I bring ways of speaking and making meaning that we have traveled with me from Nigeria. So many words traveled with me. I just use that message as an example. But she is growing up with linguistic experiences shaped by our own worlds, which we as parents continuously learn alongside her. And sometimes those worlds meet beautifully well. At times it can be confusing, like the message and errand. As they meet beautifully well, sometimes they collide, which is the confusion. And sometimes they leave one person looking around for a phone while the other person is wondering why nobody will simply bring her the cup. But there's something else I don't want to miss here. Do you know what that is? I don't want to miss the fact that my daughter didn't simply misunderstood me. She participated in making meaning with me. She listened. She tried to understand what I wanted. And eventually she said, Mama, do you mean errand? That little question changed the interaction. For a moment, the child became the teacher. And perhaps that is part of what bridging our learning worlds continues to teach me. Learning does not always travel from adults to children. Sometimes children give us the language. Sometimes they help us notice things about ourselves that have become so ordinary that we no longer see them. Hmm. And sometimes they make visible the different worlds that have become so ordinary that we no longer see them. So now, the typical way, I'm curious about you. Is there a word or expression that you use naturally because of where you grew up, but someone from another place understands completely different? Maybe it is English. Maybe it is another language. Maybe it is something your parents or grandparents use naturally because of where you grew up. I want to say that this is not another moment of, oh, British English or American English. Remember the example of errand and message. So the invitation is there a word or expression that you use naturally or where you grew up, but someone from another place understands completely different? Maybe it is English, maybe it is another language. Maybe it's something your parents or grandparents say that makes perfect sense at home, but sounds completely different outside your family. I would love for you to share one in the comments because perhaps The question isn't simply which word is correct. Message or errand? Cookie or biscuit? Maybe the more interesting question is, what words are we carrying when we speak? Is it about what is correct or what is said appropriately? Or about the words that we are carrying as we speak? And what might we learn when we become curious about the words carried in someone else's words? Until next time, keep noticing the ordinary moments that are teaching us extraordinary lessons. There may be an extraordinary lesson waiting inside just your daily walk around. This is bridging our learning worlds, and we keep looking at the different ordinary moments that teaches us extraordinary lessons, either through language, culture, parenting, what we embody, or what we highlight as our identity. I remain Yetunde S. Alabede, and I look forward to seeing you in episode 8. Ó dàbọ̀ o.